Shalom. Call Loyam Wakaba La Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rachakwadash. Demons to the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations unto the fellow laborers of the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And I got to quote our Lord Yahushai when he basically said, "You hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that you do not discern this time?" All you got to do is just pay attention, just look around, look at the reports, the whistleblowers, these financial experts. They're basically blowing the trumpet and sounding an alarm that pretty much the economy, the global economy, is imploding. All right, it's beginning to collapse, and it was long overdue. All right, and you people finna start to feel the effects of that collapse. All right, and when those effects start to really get felt, then we're gonna see Second Ezra 15 and 16 amplified to the max. All right, that's when you're gonna start to see, all right, people lose it, people get desperate, and Sleepy Joe's doing an incredible job, by the way. All right, in the midst of these food shortages, in the midst of these truckers going on strike because they're dealing with the soaring fuel prices and also a shortage of fuel. This is not what's not making this condition any better is that they still are keeping the borders open and they're still allowing more impoverished people to come into the country. So that's going to make things worse. Products are starting to get more scarce. You got shrinkflation. The size of your products are shrinking. So it's only a matter of time. And the scriptures, constantly forewarned that these times would happen. The Lord is no longer prolonging his word. So you better be paying attention to what's going on, and you better be prepared, because death is getting ready to set trends, new trends in a major way. Remember when E40 came out with that album in a major way? Well, death is getting ready to set new trends in a major way. All right, while you busy trying to set new trends on TikTok and social media, just look out for death. When we read Revelation 6, starting at the fifth verse, it talks about the black horse with the pair of balances in his hand, and then it goes in to talk about you know um, a barley for a penny, or a day's wage for wheat, going into inflation. What's what's the next horse right after that? What horse comes right after the black horse? The pale horse. And what sat upon that horse? Death. So it's getting ready to come, man. So anyway, I'm gonna play this clip right here, and this is from the one of the UN secretaries, right? And listen up real good. All right, you people are not gonna be comfortable anymore, man.
Invasion of Ukraine, we face a new reality. For those on the ground, every day brings new bloodshed and suffering. And for people around the world, the war, together with the other crises, is threatening to unleash an unprecedented wave of hunger and destitution, leaving social and economic chaos in its wake.
Wait, what?
Unprecedented wave of hunger and destitution, leaving
Hold on, let me run that
with
back.
the other crises, is threatening to unleash an unprecedented wave of hunger and destitution.
Unprecedented wave of hunger and what?
An unprecedented wave of hunger and destitution.
And destitution. So you people You know, right now, because you still have a little food left in the markets, so you have a little bit of stability. That's getting ready to be stripped completely. Like what's going on over there in Sri Lanka. Yeah, that's it's going to trickle down and spread worldwide. This is why the Lord said, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." The Lord said, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction." You can't see that this is all being set up. Even if the devil on the left hand side is was causing it, 'cause we know that in order for them to bring about their new world order, they got to destabilize as much of the global system as possible, including your food, your power, electricity, etc. This is what it's going to take, but it's going to result in a lot of chaos. This is when you're going to start to see people flipping out. All right, right now, their mind is on Boston versus Golden State. Who's going to win the playoffs, the finals? You know that's what they're talking about. What's going on in the news as far as your celebrities and entertainers. And then you of course you got the rainbow pride through the roof right now. They're going all out. But see, the Lord is setting these people up while they're still in their pride. Was that Second Ezra 8:50? Let's go there real quick. See, this is what we're paying attention to because our mind is fixated on prophecy. All right, Second Ezra 8 and verse 50, and it says, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride." And these miseries, they just watch how they pile up. A lot of people gonna be in distress. The scriptures talk about the distress of nations. People are being perplexed, not knowing what to do with themselves. All right, and going back to Revelation 6, dealing with the pale horse, because he said unprecedented hunger. Let's go to Revelation 6, because leading up to what causes hunger is the fact that the food is scarce, the supply chain is down, which they're pretty much um blatantly, deliberately destroying your food supply. All those different forms in food manufacturing warehouses that they're destroying, paying off farmers to stop producing. So they're destroying your food to bring in a famine. This is Revelation 6 and 6. It says, "And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine." And here's the last one. All right, meaning the horse. And it says, "And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death." All right, Death. He gonna come through with that black rag around his mouth, and he gonna set new trends in a major way. All right, and hell, meaning the grave, followed with them, and power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword. And that's what you're seeing, all right, all over the world. Whether it be these proxy wars being fought, which we're on the brink of war with Russia, over the Ukraine situation. You got situation going on in Syria with Turkey, and the Israeli government is involved. Basically it's a proxy being fought between Iran and Israel in Syria, and Russia is involved with that. And then China. They're preparing a special operation to take Taiwan before the U.S. or the West tries to you know evade Taiwan or try to take over Taiwan, because they both, those two powers, Russia and China, they're working back to back together to push back on Western dominance in the East. So war is imminent. And then you had Nicaragua, if I'm not mistaken, they're giving permission for Russia to be able to enter into their country. So at any given point, if they want to invade, they can just come straight from south of the border, especially with how they keep the border open. You know, enemies can come right through, and then we on the brink of also a possible civil war popping off in this country. You know, with them conservatives, you know, they're not happy about, you know, their constitution being stripped away from them, their Second Amendment right, their gun, which is their blessing, being taken from them. And you got these white nationalists on social media getting caught. You know, they had a hashtag white boy summer. All right, where they plan to go out and you already know what time it is with Esau. All right, they was getting ready to go to a Pride at the Park event in I believe it was in Idaho, and they ended up catching them dudes before they was about to pull up. You know, on those freaks out there, them queers. So it's gonna get very unstable, man. It's gonna be a lot of commotion, a lot of instability. That's all coming, man. It's all chaos. So it says to kill with the sword, all right, war, whether it be civil war, and with hunger, starvation, and with death, and with the beast of the earth. So the Lord's he's gonna spark it up a notch, man. And death is gonna set a new precedent. Okay. Now let's go to Second Esdras 15. Go to Second Esdras 15 real quick. And bear with me while here we go. Second Esdras 15 and verse 5, which I actually quoted. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So the Lord is he's the one that's bringing the plagues, or the sword, famine. You know, so they're destroying your food supply, man. All the meats that you like, your chicken, your turkey, that's for the price for the skyrocket. And pretty soon they're gonna be rationing it. All right. It says, for weakness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. And we ain't even got to go into the level of wickedness that we see all around us, man. Especially just looking at our own people. You know, nigga woman sucking on snakes in the strip club, and there's all type of just wild behavior. So the Lord, he's addressing all the wickedness of the earth. All right. Now let's jump down to verse 14. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. This is after the Lord destroys your food supply. All right, with you know, these strange weather patterns. You know, all this weather, which really it could be Esau using his weather modification. Either way, the Lord is causing further destruction on your food supply. All right, and afterwards you're gonna see people responding to it. All right, stores gonna have to get boarded up because people gonna be so used to rushing into the stores. They ain't gonna be rushing in to get smartphones and TVs and shit like that. They're gonna be rushing in for cases of water, toilet paper after all the panic buying. All right, and people gonna panic even more when there's nothing else left to buy. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, civil war, people trying to overthrow the government. People coming after their mayors and governors. We gonna see more of that. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall never guard their kings nor princes, and the courts of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." Why? Because it's going to be military embankments in major cities, prevent people from entering and leaving unless you show some type of identification. They're gonna be questioning you. Where are you coming from? Why are you coming through? Who are you here to see? All right, and men in military gear. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. We're gonna be in the thick of the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, people gonna be out there just mobbing. Okay, pulling robberies in broad day, and it's gonna be lawless because if more police do what those Michigan police do, then it's gonna get even more dangerous. People gonna be not afraid to go out there and commit crime out in the open because they ain't gotta worry about law enforcement pulling up. So it ain't gonna be safe outside. So men are gonna be afraid, and if men are gonna be afraid, how much more you women that's so proud right now? A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because they're desperate. They're gonna be desperate. They're gonna be in survival mode because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Now let's go back to this UN secretary and let's finish hearing what he's saying. Dev is finna set a new president. It's finna set new trends in a major way.
Leaving social and economic chaos in its wake. Vulnerable people and vulnerable countries are already being hit hard, but make no mistake, no country or community will be left untouched by this cost of living crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, in reality, there is only one way to stop this gathering storm in its tracks. The Russian invasion of Ukraine must end. The deaths and destruction.
And that's how you know he's a devil, because they're going to continue to blame it on Russia's invasion of Ukraine. It has nothing to do with that. This is all designed and controlled. This is all systematically done and engineered by the globalists in order for them to get their great reset agenda accomplished, destabilize everything, because they're in the midst of a transition. All right, the stock market is crashing. You have the crypto crash. All these things are all being deliberately done. But Russia is the scapegoat. All right.
Destruction must stop. A political solution must be found in line with international law and the United Nations Charter. But until that happens, we need immediate action on two fronts. First, we need to bring stability to global food and energy markets to break the vicious cycle of rising prices and bring relief to developing countries.
Another commodity, rice. The price of rice is going to start going up too, they saying. That's one of the major things that people stock up on to prepare for, food crisis. Stock up on beans, rice, lentils. They saying that that's going up, so it's going to get interesting, man.
Ukraine's food production and the food and fertilizer produced by Russia must be brought back into world markets despite the war. I've asked Rebecca Greenspan and my humanitarian chief, Martin Griffiths, to coordinate two task forces to help find a package deal that allows for the safe and secure export of Ukrainian-produced foods through the Black Sea and unimpeded access to global markets for Russian food and fertilizers.
So they got to ration food. So is that in the scriptures that your food will be rationed? Yep. And this pertains to Israel in history, but history always repeats itself. Ezekiel 4 and 14. This is Ezekiel 4 and 16. And it says, moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment, that they may want bread and water and be astonished one with another and consume away for their iniquity. All these things are being brought upon the world because of their iniquity, man. All right, let's read that in the NLT. Ezekiel 4:16 and 17. Then he told me, Son of man, I will make food very scarce in Jerusalem. It will be weighed out with great care and eaten fearfully. The water will be rationed out drop by drop, and the people will drink it with dismay. Lacking food and water, people will look at one another in terror, and they will waste away under their punishment. Let's go to Leviticus 26 and 26. And it says, I will destroy your food supply, so that 10 women will need only one oven to bake bread for their families. They will ration your food by weight, and though you have food to eat, you will not be satisfied. So hey, the Lord is making it come to pass, man. Because at the end it shall speak and not lie. All right. So we're definitely coming into those times, man. All right. There's no time to bullshit. There's no time to be on some, well, America could bounce back at any given moment. So we're gonna continue to, go into a city and build and get gain. We're gonna continue to do this and do that. Man, that's gonna take you as a thief, man. The scriptures say, be not overcharged with the cares of this life, lest that day overtake you, man. Luke 21 and 36. Actually, let me start at 34. It says, and take heed to yourselves lest that at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. And these people are not going to be prepared at all. All right. And it starts off with you preparing mentally and spiritually. And we have these scriptures for our comfort. We remember the things that are said. All right. Like as it is written, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of your times and the strength of your salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. So, at least we're going to have stability and we're going to have faith and believe that the Lord is going to provide for us as long as we, walk in his path and maintain our steadfastness of our faith. It says that in Psalms 55 and 22, cast your burden upon the Lord and he will sustain thee. He will not suffer the righteous to be moved. All right. It says, for as a snare shall come upon all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch you therefore and pray always that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. All right, when you go to, let's go to 2nd Ezra 16. And this is starting at 17. It says, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. And that's that pale horse coming through the visit, pulling up. All right. The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? All right, which the scriptures tell you. All right, pray, watch, believe, have trust, because the Lord said, my servant shall eat. All right. It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. All right, that's why the Lord's going to turn up the heat on these people, man. He's going to make them really feel it. That our people are so hardened and obstinate in their evil ways. This is why the Lord's going to have no choice but to turn it up. And a lot of Jacob's going to die out there. A lot of them. Majority of them. 2 parts. 2/3. They're going to get cut off. And the Lord says, such as for the sword to the sword, such as for the famine to the famine, to the captivity, whatever it may be, and good for them. And we will not lift up a cry nor a prayer for them when we see it happen. Because the Lord already called them and stretched out his hand, but they didn't regard. You know, they turned away their ears, they hardened themselves and continued on in their folly. Still wanted to continue in their idolatrous ways, worshiping Allah and Mary, Guadalupe, Saint Death, you know, Rastafari, and all this bullshit, man. All right, so Jake is on their own, man. We already did what we supposed to do, and we're gonna continue to do it until the Lord, you know, take us out of the way and cause our tongues to cleave to the roof of our mouth and keep silent in this evil time. Plus, we know Esau eventually is going to remove us off the internet. There's going to be both a famine of bread and water and a famine of hearing the word. Then what you gonna do? So this is from straight up from the UN. This is what they're saying. So hey, you know, let's be prepared, man. All right. So anyway, you know, I'm gonna end it right there. I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai. To the next lesson. Shalom.